before the miracles that would echo through eternity, before the sermons that would reshape hearts, before the shadow of the cross loomed large, Jesus was a 12-year-old boy filled with divine wisdom in an astonishing way. In the humble Galilean town of Nazareth, set among rolling hills under a blazing sun, the boy Jesus had reached the significant age of 12. He was known as an obedient son, his days often spent in the familiar scent of cut timber and shavings that filled the air of his earthly father Joseph's workshop, with focused diligence that belied his youth. Jesus learned the craft, his small hands already showing the beginnings of calluses as he assisted Joseph, the carpenter. Their existence, like many in Nazareth, were humble and affected by the realities of poverty. As the seasons turned, it was time, according to the sacred customs, for a son reaching this age to be presented at the great temple in Jerusalem during the Passover feast. The prospect of Jesus receiving the rite filled the little house with anticipation, yet a shadow of unease touched Mary's heart. Whispers carried on the wind spoke of unrest in the holy city, of friction between the occupying Roman forces and the proud men of Judah, a tension simmering close to open conflict. "I worry, Joseph," she confided, her voice soft. "Jerusalem is volatile." But Joseph, a man of deep faith and quiet strength, placed a reassuring hand on her arm. "Do not fear, Mary," he countered gently, his gaze steady. "The Lord who guides us will shield us. We shall make our pilgrimage and return safely." His conviction settled the matter. "We will go to Jerusalem next week," he declared. "Tomorrow we begin our preparations for the journey." After long days traversing the dusty miles from Nazareth, the holy city finally emerged, sprawling and majestic. Jerusalem throbbed with Passover's energy. The vast temple courts surged with an immense bustling crowd, a vibrant river of pilgrims converging for the feast, their voices echoing amidst the ancient hallowed stones. Navigating the bustling courts, their purpose clear, Joseph sought a suitable sacrifice. Amidst the bleating and bartering, they found a vendor offering lambs deemed perfect for the altar. 10 shekels, the merchant demanded, a steep price. Yet, seeing the earnestness in young Jesus' eyes, Joseph did not hesitate. This was the first offering his son made to God. It had to be the best. After making sure the lamb was spotless, they paid and brought the lamb to a priest standing near the sacred area. "Sir," Joseph began, presenting his 12-year-old son, "this is our offering from Nazareth. Bless him." The priest accepted the lamb, his voice solemn. "May his face shine upon you." But the solemn moment shattered. A sudden cry pierced the air. "Master! Master!" Confusion rippled through the nearby worshippers. Then, the unmistakable jarring clang of armor echoed. Roman soldiers, their polished helmets gleaming incongruously within the holy place, were storming into the temple court, their determined strides chasing an unseen figure. The sacred peace instantly dissolved in fear. Shouts erupted. "The Romans! Run for your lives!" A wave of panic surged through the dense crowd as people scrambled, pushed, and desperately tried to escape the sudden, profane intrusion of military might into God's house. In the sudden, desperate surge, Joseph's protective grip was torn away. Cries of, "Father! Father!" were lost amidst the panicked roar. When the wave of fleeing people finally subsided, leaving behind scattered sandals and dropped belongings, the vast temple court felt eerily empty. 12-year-old Jesus found himself utterly alone, separated from his parents in the bewildering chaos. Unafraid, yet observant, he began to walk through the now quieter colonnades and chambers of the immense complex. Drawn by the sound of earnest voices, he approached a room where learned priests and scholars were gathered in intense discussion. Their faces were grim, their words heavy with indignation. "The Romans have defiled the house of God," one declared. "Walking on holy ground reserved only for Israel. We must cleanse it." The air crackled with their outrage over the Gentiles' intrusion. Stepping forward respectfully, the young boy addressed the learned men. "Excuse me, masters," his clear voice cut through their heated debate. "I have a question." He walked in, and everyone looked at him with surprise. He asked with a strange calmness and simplicity, "You speak of defilement because the Romans entered here, but are they not also human? Is not God the Father of all people? If so," he reasoned, looking from face to face, "shouldn't his house be open to everyone, including them?" A stunned silence fell upon the room. The priests stared, astonished by the depth and boldness of the query coming from a mere boy. Meanwhile, outside the temple's turmoil, Joseph finally found Mary amidst the dispersing crowds. "Mary, there you are!" he exclaimed, relief washing over him. "I've been searching everywhere. Where is Jesus?" Her brow furrowed with confusion, then alarm. "Isn't he with you? We were separated in the rush. I thought he left with you." Cold dread seized them both. Their son was missing. Panic turned to frantic searching. For 3 agonizing days, they combed the crowded streets of Jerusalem, their hearts heavy with mounting fear. They retraced their steps, asking anyone who might have seen a boy of 12. They even found the seller of the sheep. "Don't you remember us? From 3 days ago?" Joseph pleaded. "Did you see our son?" The man, although sympathetic, shook his head. Hope dwindled. To the point of despair, they decided their only remaining option was to return once more to the vast temple complex itself. Approaching a man within the temple courts, Joseph described his missing son. "Excuse me, sir, have you seen a boy, about 12 years old?" The man's eyes lit with recognition. "Ah, yes. Is he yours? There's a remarkable boy who has been astounding the priests in their discussion room for the past 3 days." "Such knowledge," he gestured. "Go straight. The room is on your left. You are blessed parents." Hope surging, they hurried as directed. And there, seated calmly amidst the circle of learned elders, listening intently and asking questions, was their son, Jesus. Jesus. "My son." Mary's voice trembled, a mixture of profound relief and the lingering ache of 3 days' frantic worry. Joseph stood beside her, his face etched with the same exhaustion and joy. "Child, why have you treated us like this?" Mary asked, the question heavy with the anxiety they had endured. "Your father and I have been searching for you everywhere, our hearts filled with sorrow." Jesus looked at them, not with defiance, but with a calm, almost surprised clarity that seemed beyond his years. "But why were you searching for me?" he asked gently, his gaze steady. "Did you not know that I must be in my Father's house, tending to his affairs?" The words hung in the air, filled with a meaning deeper than they could fully grasp at that moment, a profound statement of identity and purpose. Though his earthly parents were relieved beyond measure to have found him safe, Mary treasured these perplexing words, pondering them silently in her heart. The time had come to leave the holy city. As Joseph gathered their modest belongings and they prepared for the long journey back to the familiar routines of Nazareth, the whispers followed them. The learned priests and scholars who had been captivated by the boy's discourse spoke amongst themselves in hushed, amazed tones. "Such wisdom, such understanding in one so young," one remarked. "Where did this child gain such knowledge?" Another murmured, shaking his head in wonder. It was obvious to all who witnessed his interactions inside this sacred temple. All knew that this was no ordinary boy. He possessed an insight and a connection that set him apart, a quiet authority that resonated deeply. He was, undeniably, someone special, marked already by a divine light. This remarkable incident is more than just the story of a lost boy. It is also an insight into Jesus' budding spiritual awareness, demonstrates a wisdom far beyond his childhood years. It reminds us that divine purpose can manifest in unexpected ways. What did you feel watching this unfold? Did the young Jesus' confidence and understanding resonate with you? Share your reflections in the comments below. We love hearing your thoughts. If stories like this move you, please subscribe Life of Jesus Christ and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration into these timeless narratives. What sacred story should we journey into next?